Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Speed Metal Pickups. So, this was a wild one. I'm not going to lie. It seems like I'm getting a reputation for dealing with crackheads, and it's not that I'm trying to do this. It's just like, I guess it's the area I'm in. Like, if you guys don't know where Hastings is, it's kind of world famous for being a shithole where fucking people down on their luck, crazy bums and drug addicts and people that should be in a mental institution are all just hanging out on the street, you know? And that's literally 10-minute walk west from me. So I end up having to deal with a lot of these people, and they're not all fuckheads, although a good portion of them are, because they have one central goal and purpose: crack. You know, so when you're driven by your need for crack, you can become a little bit volatile, I'm sure. But, you know, I've had some good issues with these types and some bad issues. More bad, but, you know, good. You know, people can be down on their luck and they can change, but it is what it is. So, in a way, I provide a public service. Bring me stuff that you can't use, and here's some money. Hopefully you don't use the money to buy crack, but you probably did and will. So anyways, there's a more detailed version of this on Instagram, and I recorded it like the instant after it happened, which I'm probably going to throw to here. But just a quick preamble. Got a call from some people. Hey, I got these comics, and they specifically told me, I don't know if it was a lie, because going back, I've dealt with these people more. They're like, hey, we got some comics from a garage sale. The chick, I don't think she knew what she had. We paid $25 for them. I'm like, okay, send me some pictures. And it's all like Silver Surfer 1 and 3 and 4, but they're all reprints, right? And I'm like, those are reprints, just so you know, but you know, there's probably some good ass stuff in there. So they brought some stuff over, and I go down and meet them, and I'm just going to throw to the video.
I just had one of the most annoying potential comic purchases of my entire life. Like, it was wild. So, these guys called me yesterday. And right away it was kind of sketchy. They were like, I'm like, yeah, you can send me some pictures or bring them by. And they're like, okay, we may be in touch. And I'm like, okay. And then they say, like, 5 hours later, I'm like, they're not going to send me pictures. And they finally sent me some pictures. It's a bunch of, like, Silver Surfer 1, but all the reprints. And right away, I'm like, just so you know, those are reprints. But yeah, bring them over. It could be good. And then they're like, okay, we'll come by tomorrow around 2. And I'm like, cool, you can park in front. So they come over today, and they're calling me. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see you guys. Where'd you park? They're like, oh, we walked here. And I'm like, from Coquitlam, which is like pretty much 2 cities over in Vancouver. It's Vancouver, Burnaby, and Coquitlam. So right away I'm like, because they said they were bringing the whole collection, and I'm like, okay, complete crackheads, of course, because this is the fucking story of my life. And they come on in right away, and the girl is just like, I knew the girl was going to be a problem, and she was. If it was just the guy, it might have been able to do a deal. But for instance, they got everything priced out. Doctor Strange 19, like not a key at all. $350 because they use price charting. So I'm on eBay, I'm trying to show her stuff, and the chick is just beaming me in the eyes, and she's like, I don't think we're going to be doing a deal. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so either. But don't get me wrong, there's some good stuff in there. And a quick preamble to all this, the guy on the phone told me, yeah, we went to a garage sale, and some old lady had these. We got everything for $25. I don't think she knew what she had. So I'm like, you guys literally ripped off an old lady, and you're bragging about it to me. And then you expect me to pay like $5,000 for this stuff? So just on principle, I already didn't really like these people. But they had like 4 copies of Moon Knight 1, DC Comics Presents 26, first Star Wars, a bunch of Star Wars. Sorry, I'm kind of sick, if you can't tell. And then they're like, yeah, I'm like, what do you want for everything? You know, because I'm like pretty much just ready to leave, but at the same time, I'm like, I wouldn't, and I'm always trying not to get bad reviews too, and I'm like, I don't want to be an asshole to people. And then they're like, well, you give us a price. And I'm like, are you trying to get me to appraise your collection, or do you want me to buy it? Because there's ethics differences in those two answers. Because if it's an appraisal, I'm ethically shouldn't be buying this, right? And they're like, well, we want your help selling things. And I'm like, I don't do that. And they're like talking, they want everything graded. And I'm like, you guys are ridiculous. You pretty much want to do exactly what I do, except with zero knowledge base and zero willingness to learn. So I was just like, I'll give you $500 for this stack. Right away, they're like, no, no, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. I go to walk away, and then they're like, okay, well, and they start pulling stuff out of the stack, and they're like, well, this is, so they got Secret Wars 1, 3 copies. And they're like, well, these are all 9.8s. And I show them all the spine ticks going down. And the chick's like, well, I'm a carpenter. And she said this over and over, I'm a paper Nazi. Is that a good thing? A paper Nazi? And I'm like, you can't, those are color breaking spine ticks. You can't fix them. She's like, I can fix them. I'm like, you'll get restoration. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, this is fucked. Get me out of here. And, yeah, it was just wild. Eventually I was just like, all right, well, and yeah, they only brought a portion of this because they wanted to gauge me before, and then, so either way, I would have to drive to Coquitlam. I'm like, I would have just rather have just driven to Coquitlam and made an offer on everything. But clearly these guys weren't looking to deal. Their prices are in the clouds, and I don't know. So I said, I wish you guys the best. I hope you make a lot of money. Good luck with this. And they're like, okay, thanks. Shake hands. And like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, you guys ripped off old ladies to get this collection. Like, have fun taking it all the way back to Coquitlam on the bus. None of this stuff's bagged and boarded either. It was just like, wonderful. What a wonderful day.
So as you see, wasn't the most positive interaction. But I was a little bit sick. My back was hurt. And I just didn't really want to deal with these people at that point. You know, sometimes when you're trying to educate people and they're just not listening. So anyways, the next day, like that night, trying to get to sleep, I was like tossing and turning about some of those books. Like, man, I want that stuff. So the next day, I was in a bit of a better mood, and I sent them a text. I was like, hey, you know, I'm sorry for yesterday. I was in a bit of a mood. You know, if you guys are open to me coming to check out the collection, let me know. Right away, they're like, hey, sure, come by tomorrow to our storage locker. I'm like, all right. Drive down to their storage locker around 1:30, meet them. And this time I was like, okay, rapport, rapport, rapport. You know, I was a personal trainer. I know how to build connections with people and, you know, grease the wheels, as it were. I've also been watching a lot of American Pickers, you know, and one of the things is, you know, you get to know them, ask questions, you know, make a couple small sales can lead to larger sales, right? So right away, I'm like asking them questions, you know, both of them kind of grew up out here, where they got this stuff from. The girl was a much bigger comic and pop culture fan than the guy. The girl knew, you know, a lot of stuff, so we kind of talked about old X-Men cartoons and Star Wars and Star Trek, and they had a bunch of action figures they were bringing out. They didn't want me to know where their storage locker was, so they were just bringing stuff down in the elevator and then rolling it into the lobby. And the lobby, because it was like a storage whatever area, and it was fucking cold in there, so my hands were like, you know, we're all like noses running like, the whole time. But you know, it is what it is. So they were bringing stuff down, and I brought like a little short box, and my plan going in was I'm gonna make them an offer and then make a little bit of a higher offer, which is what I did. So I'm just ripping through, like they had so many comics, and nothing is bagged and boarded. Some of the stuff was bagged, but it had like that gross tape where it was like you got to pull the things apart, and then if you put that tape on top of a raw comic, it is bad news bears. Do not put Scotch tape on your bags and boards. masking tape only. Like, just wildness. Anyways, I'm just ripping through, pulling anything out, putting it all in this box, putting it all aside, like making literally just a box of keys. And they're kind of tag teaming. Like the girl leaves for a bit, I'm left with just the dude. Then the dude leaves for a bit, I'm left with just the girl. So the guy I'm trying to make pleasantries with. I'm like, so you into X-Men and this stuff? Not really. Okay. What kind of hobbies you got? Nothing. Oh. So he was a bit of a harder one. And then I was like, what about music? What kind of music you into? A lot of people don't think that I'd be into rap, Manowar shirt, Morbid Angel hat, long hair. So he was like, well, I'm into rap. I'm like, well, me too. I'm like, what are we talking about? West Coast, East Coast, South, Texas, Memphis? He's like, oh, right when you say that shit, people. And I was like, UGK 36 Mafia. He's like, I love 36 Mafia. I'm like, great. So he started showing me some newer rap that I wasn't too into, but I'm like, okay, yeah, not too bad. Not trying to offend the guy. Oh, I totally forgot this. I was talking to the guy and about rap, and I was like, so you been to any good shows lately? Any concerts? He's like, man, I just got out of 9 years in prison. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, I kidnapped 4 people. I'm like, why? He's like, well, I didn't like them. So you didn't like somebody, and you kidnapped 4 people, and then did 9 years in prison. Wild. Remind me not to fuck with you. So he was a nice enough guy. And, his girlfriend was like, I'm a bigger guy. She's like, talk about being a personal trainer. She's like, I've been telling him he should get into that. He got into weightlifting in prison, blah, blah, blah. So you could tell he had some size to him. So I was like, maybe we should try that out one day. It's a pretty fulfilling career for certain people. I had my share of it. And then his girlfriend comes down. She's like, why are you showing him rap? He's like, he likes rap. And then she's like, oh, I'm a rock person. I'm like, oh, cool. So now we got some rapport going with both of them. And I kind of told them, like, hey, I understand you guys don't want to sell the entire collection, and I don't want the entire collection, but there's going to be some books that I'm going to want. So I have to make a profit. I'm helping you guys out, and I can educate you. I'm educating them as I go, like teaching them what annuals are and, grading, because, after the first day, I guess they're a bit more receptive because they went down to Golden Age, and apparently they didn't get treated too well there, which, is probably their fault, but hey, it is what it is, and helped me out in the end. So then I was like, you know what? I can help you guys out. I can point you in the right direction, but I need some books for myself to make this worth my while. So they understood it. So anyways, we go through everything, and they couldn't get to everything they said. They said their storage locker was just, there was boxes and boxes all to the back, and they had stuff at home. So I didn't get to see the Star or the Silver Surfer and stuff, but there was some damn good stuff. And I kind of told them, like, I want the X-Men for me, which was true. They held back a couple books that I couldn't get. There was an X-Men 100 that they were just not budging on. It wasn't in the nicest condition either. I just wanted it because damn do I love that old X-Men. And but they wouldn't budge on that. And I didn't notice it at the time, but they pulled out one of the Star Wars ones I had, which is understandable. There's 4 copies of the Moon Knight one that you're going to see. They pulled out 2. So it is what it is. Anyways, let's take a look. All right, we're going to start with The Amazing Spider-Man. Got my key collector here. And I was going to use my tablet, but that shit's dead as fuck. So, debut of Black Widow's skin-tight costume. There's a lot here. All these little fucking keys. It's never just easy. Damn, this phone's getting kind of old now. Or is it just key collectors that's slow? Who knows? All right. 132. 137. So, of course, they wanted to write on this. Second appearance of Harry Osborn as the Green Goblin. And we got some Scorpion covers. $149.
First appearance of Peter Parker's clone, Ben Reilly, who later becomes the Scarlet Spider. Pretty sick. Yeah, these are all pretty high grade, too. A couple spine ticks, but 150, 153. Then we jump right to 183. First appearance of Big Wheel, alter ego of Jackson Wheel. And then first appearance of the White Dragon. There's a version of this that's like the Tide or whatever. Promotional giveaway. 185. 186. 187. 188. Second appearance of Jigsaw. Is that Jigsaw? Looking good. 189. 190. 191. 192. 193. And then 2 copies of 194. Both are around the same grade. A little scratch, but they're both pretty damn nice. We'll see what those can get. And then we got 197 to 200 here. Classic Kingpin colors. Death of Uncle Ben's Killer and Origin of Spider-Man Retold. Pretty crunched up, but happens.
You like free? I like free. Who doesn't like free? Communists. Don't be a communist. Get some free. You want this? I know you do. It can be free. In fact, it is free, because I ain't making any money off this. But I am going to use it to whore myself out and get some likes and followers. So, if you want one entry for this, message me on Instagram. You'll find the page or whatever. Like and follow and comment on that. You want another entrance? Go on YouTube, subscribe, leave a comment anywhere on there with your name. On YouTube, obviously. And then you want another entry. I'm trying to get back on Whatnot a bit more. So go on Whatnot, follow me, Speed Metal Comics, shoot me a message, and that'll be your third entry. So first appearance of the Marauders, full appearance, and just an awesome all-around cover with Wolverine getting absolutely shredded. So, you want to help me help you get some free and fight communism? Now is the time to do it. For democracy.
Alright, now we're into some of my favorites. X-Men. This cover is amazing. Looks like it's from like 1992. Just the pop and the colors, and so sick. So, first appearance of Corsair. First appearance of Chode. Second cameo of Lilandra. And first mention of Mutant X, aka Proteus. I wish there wasn't so many gaps in here, but there is some gaps. Alright, 105. First full appearance of Lilandra, future Empress of the Shi'ar, and debut of Jean Grey's new Phoenix powers. I believe this is first appearance of the Entity. Oh wait, no. That's missing, sorry. This is the first John Byrne art. Yeah, first John Byrne art. Pretty nice. Now we just got some nice covers for a bit. Love this cover. Classic cover by George Perez. $115. Is that 2 copies? Yeah, 2 copies of that. We actually had a lower grade one of that. Introduction of Wolverine's healing power. And the first time it's implied that Wolverine killed somebody. First appearance of the Shadow King. Origin of Professor X. This is fucking dumb things. Yeah, I don't know. Shadow King. That's the important thing there. That is a nice copy. First appearance of Mariko. $119. Got a cameo of Proteus. And then we're into the Alpha Flight stuff. First cameo of Alpha Flight. First full appearance of Alpha Flight. Oh wait, yeah. 122. Origin of Colossus. Mastermind assumes the identity of Jason Wingard. Storm's nipple exposed in a panel where she's blow drying her hair. Okay. First cameo appearance of Mutant X, Proteus. First full appearance of Proteus. 127. 128. This one's a little rougher than the rest. Then we got Dark Phoenix Saga Part 1. First Kitty Pryde and the first... No, it's not the first... It's the first Kitty Pryde. And the first Emma Frost. And the first cameo of the Hellfire Club. And then 130's missing, unfortunately. 131. Jean Grey becomes the Black Queen. And first cover appearance of the White Queen. And this is something kind of big. First full team appearance of the Hellfire Club. First appearance of the Black Bishop. First appearance of the White Bishop. First appearance of Tessa becomes the Sage. Wonderful. So, first solo Wolverine cover. And they talk about his mutant healing abilities. Dark Phoenix Saga. Second appearance of Jean Grey as the Dark Phoenix. And first appearance of Senator Kelly. There's a bit of a overspray on the side here. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. Overspray and a bit of... Damn, that thing's stupid. A bit of mold. This one cannot focus at this end. You can see it. 36. Jean Grey reclaimed control. Have a lot of copies of these ones. Now we're getting into stuff I kind of know a bit more. So that's the first brown suit. And Kitty Pryde joins as Sprite. First appearance of Heather Hudson, later becomes the Guardian. Kitty Pryde. And then a nice copy of 141. I actually have a lot of copies of these now. I think there's some mold on the side though again. I don't know if you can see that on there, but yeah, it kind of sucks. Foxing, I think they call it. A lot of these have some of it. 143. Sorry, I'm not going to do every single one of these. This is getting just a bit much. Those were the big ones I wanted to do anyways. 48, and then king size annual. And then a special edition. What's going on over here? Did you get woken up? You like comic books? Here, I got you this nice comic book. You want it? You earned it. Are you excited for this? Look. That's the first Marauders. I know how much you like that. Yeah, lick it. Nice. Alright, now we're into the Star Wars. So this is a 9.8 contender. Pretty damn nice. I don't really see any issues with it. And yeah, nice looking copy. So, number 2, we got first Obi-Wan, first Chewbacca, first Han Solo, first Greedo, first Millennium Falcon and Death Star, and first appearance of Jabba the Hutt, but visually different from the movie. There you go. First appearance, first cover of Han Solo and Chewbacca. That's a bit of a reach whenever they say first cover, I think, but whatever. Film, yeah. How is that a key in Key Collector? Film adaptation part 4. Wait, there's no number 4 in here. Oh, I thought it was complete. My bad. We don't even have part 4 in here. Alright, 2 copies of part 5 for some reason. First appearance of Wedge Antilles. That's a sick cover. 7. First appearance of Crimson Jack. Alright. 2 copies of that. Why couldn't there be more copies of number 1? First appearance of, what's his name? Yeah, Jackson. What up, Jackson? First appearance of the Cloud Riders. Alright. $16. Terminator. First appearance of Hunter. Yeah, they're kind of grasping at some of these keys. After the first ones, it's like, who's really appearing like this? First appearance of Spiked Monkey. Solo story feature. Oh no, that's something else. We already passed it. Yeah, there's nothing else till. Yeah, like what? That's not a key collector. Wow. No, I said good art. Alright, He-Man. Yeah, like. Bro, I'm not so sure on that good art comment. I don't actually know who the artist of this is. Cover art featuring Luke Skywalker versus Orman. Like, how is that a key? Key collector, do better. I know. First meeting of Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. So that's some pretty crappy art too, I think. But whatever. Kind of nostalgic, even though I wasn't alive yet by 10 years. That's a key, but such a minor one, I'm not even going to say anything. 39. 2 copies. Partial reprint. First mention of Rogue Squadron. So, first mention of Rogue Squadron. Got it. And then these are all. First team appearance of the Rogue Squadron. And then no one needs this one. First Boba Fett. First one of all three of them. Not the nicest copy. Not as nice as the rest of the copies. But still. Not too bad. Tiny little babies. All right. And then here's just some straight up keys. Joker, one. Very nice. You all know what that is. First Cyborg and the other two. This is just, I think it's a first appearance of something, but it's just first Iron Fist solo story. 2 copies of Shogun Warrior 1. Both newsstand. 2 copies of this. They had 4, but they only let me take 2. Is what it is. Alright, so is this the first appearance of Adam Strange? I think so. First Gamora. And then I don't really think that's a key. Alright, and then first ongoing series of Miss Marvel. I'm just kind of winging it now. I believe this is the first cameo of Mystique. And then this is something. I can't remember. This video is long enough already. So, and first full appearance of Mystique. And then 5 copies of Spider-Woman #1. Howard the Duck #1. Pretty high grade. So, and then some copies, or 1 copy of Ghost Rider, that is. I'd say it's about a 5 or a 6. I don't know, after a press, might look a lot nicer. Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. Both around the 5.0 range, probably. And then I almost shit my pants when I saw this first, but it's a reprint. These are all reprints. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
So, pretty crazy collection. I'm actually a little bit overwhelmed because the 9.8 slabs and then this were literally back to back. So it's quite a chunk of change to drop. And people have been being so cheap on eBay lately. I don't know what's going on. All I'm getting is lowball offers and no one's buying anything. I thought it was tax season. I thought y'all supposed to be buying stuff. But it is what it is. I don't know. Try not to panic. But ain't gonna sell rock bottom either. Anyways, so like I said with this, I was like, well, I can give you 1,600 is what I started at. And then they're like, and I was like, hey, $2,000. Good to go. Bing, bang, boom. Shake hands. And, you know, we tried to make a working deal. So hopefully I will be going back there to buy more. And kind of like a honey hole, I guess. And maybe I can even send some of my buddies there after I've had my share. So, I guess this is a good example of turning a negative interaction into a positive interaction. If I wouldn't have sent that, I wouldn't have got this. If I wouldn't have changed my tune and learned how to deal. And in the end, I don't even know if they were crackheads per se, but they definitely had mannerisms. I don't know, like me and the girl talked, they smoke weed. He doesn't smoke weed. She smokes, so I don't know, maybe they used to do the shit, maybe they don't anymore, I don't know. So who actually knows if they were indeed crackheads or not? So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it was a good collection, and I learned a lot about human nature and how to deal with people, and I'm sure it helps that I kind of look like a gang member myself, because maybe if I looked like a fucking yuppie, they wouldn't even dealt with me. So, who knows? You gotta flaunt it if you got it. Know what I'm saying? Okay, bye.